I think.
I can check.
Oh,
Do you want me?
sure.
Okay, let me look.
I could also if I kept the YouTube more up to date, but I don't. I think we've got 11 on there right now, but I think there's a 12th ready to.
It's 13.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is 13. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So, hey everybody, how are you doing, buddy?
Yeah, pretty good. I think overall. I woke up late this morning, but aside from that, it wasn't too bad.
Cool. Late as in you overslept an alarm, or?
No, but just later than I'd like.
Gotcha. What does your day look like? What time do you like to wake up?
9.
That's solid.
Yeah.
I like 9's a really good time to wake up. I feel like later than that, earlier than that's kind of brutal, and later than that is like, I feel like I feel almost drowsy if I sleep longer than 9.
Yeah.
I don't know if you get that feeling.
Yeah, well, it depends on when I go to sleep.
Well, that's true. Obviously, if you go to sleep at like 3 in the morning, you're not going to wake up at 9. But at least you probably won't. You can.
Yeah, 6 hours isn't too bad. Sometimes.
I mean, yeah, I've had to been for the past month and maybe some change. I have been waking up at 5:30, 5:45 in the morning.
Well, when have you been going to sleep?
What?
When have you been going to sleep?
10 o'clock. So it's 7 hours basically. Seven and change. 8 hours if I'm a good boy.
Don't scoff at 6 then. That's not too much difference.
Oh, it's brutal already. Oh, I can't imagine 6. I think because I always wake up in the middle of a REM cycle, I think, or something. Like, I don't know. I've read that if you wake up in the middle of like a dream, like, the REM cycle, then you're way more exhausted than if you just woke up while your brain was inactive or whatever. I'm not sure if that's I'm not sure what even the term for a sleep scientist is. A somniologist, a sleep doctor. There's probably a word, but
I'm sure there is, yeah.
Because they have sleep study clinics and things like that, which I really want to put Chris into. Like, if that was one gift I could give to him, it would be signing him up for one of those. It would not be a gift to the people who are doing the study, though. Well, maybe it would. He might be just like really something interesting for them to study. I'm not sure. Because like legitimately, one time he was asleep for 3 days straight. We thought he died. I guess he got up occasionally. Like he would wake up for an hour, get a drink, and then return to the coma state.
That's a bit more relatable. Because I've never slept for that long. But with some
have you gone through really long periods though of almost like barely waking up, barely being awake?
I don't know if I'd call it barely. I was pretty cogent, but then I made the decision to go back to bed.
Well, when I say barely, I mean like the portion of the day you're awake is like really insignificant. It's small. Yeah, I don't know how I would do that. That would make me feel like my days were just melting away from me. I think it would make me feel really depressed if I.
Usually you do it because you're already really depressed.
That's what I think. I do. And I do think Chris might be, although he's never talked to me about it. This is weird to talk about in public. Anyway, I'm gonna stop. But so yeah, today we are getting back into the grove, and I think you can actually see things.
Yes, so I can. Although we weren't in the grove at the end of last episode.
No, I'm just testing the grove out because that is. It's what I'm testing. Because I believe from what you told me, you were heading there next anyway. So I think that was the next part of the dungeon we were going to use, unless you changed your mind.
I mean, I was actually thinking about this before we started today. I forgot. So if that's what I said, then that sounds about.
So basically the options I laid out for you were, and I mean, you can always come up with a plan D if you want. But the options that seemed to me you had before you were to deal with the dragon. You didn't seem to want to do that yet. to deal with the southern passage that you have the key to, or to deal with the grove. And you seem to want to do the grove first. But, of course, you can change your mind. I mean, that's no issue.
So, I have a question. We got a long rest, right? I haven't fought anything since I had...
You returned to the town, yeah, and you got a long rest, yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to bump up all my resources and stuff.
Yeah, refresh everyone. Had a good sleep.
How long was our sleep? I'm kidding.
What?
I was asking, how long was our sleep? But I was memeing. It was a meme.
It was 6 hours and then 2 hours of light activity. You had a 6-hour sleep. It was great.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
I know. Isn't that actually? It's funny because now I think about it. The D&D rules for resting assume a 6-hour sleep. That's kind of funny. And I was just shitting on it. Yeah.
How dare you, sir?
If D&D characters only need 6 hours of sleep, what am I to? Yeah, who am I to tell people different?
If you use catnap or whatever the fuck it's called, you'll need 10 minutes of sleep.
The what?
Catnap. It's like a 3rd level spell.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's actually a really that spell is either completely useless or extremely useful depending on the exact situation you're in. I don't want to say like useless, but there's cases I've had where like that spell comes in real clutch. But then sometimes it's kind of like, we could take the time to actually rest. But that's a really fun spell. I also just like the theming of the spell. I forget who. I think there was before we get into it, I think that there was I want to say Mozart or Ben Franklin. I can't think of who it was, but there was an old person who is dead now. And this person, who I can't think of who they were, only slept. It might have been Newton. No, I don't know. But whoever I'm thinking of only slept like in 20-minute periods. So they would like sleep for 20 minutes. They'd be awake for an hour. They'd sleep for 20 minutes. They'd be awake for an hour. They did some weird napping system, which sounds like you would just lose your mind. But I mean, who am I to say?
Sort of related. I did something similar. I frequently will do this, where because I get anxious about not being able to wake up for things. That's one of the things that causes my insomnia. Is that I'll be like, I'm not going to be able to get up for this, and so it'll cause me to stay awake, and then I'll have to sleep or something. So what I do is I sleep for like 2-3 hour periods or something. Like 3 hour long periods, and be like I'll get up, and then we'll see where I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than just.
I find if my alarm works, I'll always get up for something that is important. I'm
really good with alarms. I've only ever slept through like 1 or 2, and it freaks me out. But
I might sleep through an alarm if it's something that I don't care about, and I think my brain just says, nope, this isn't important enough. You actually don't care about this enough as much as you think you do, and so I'll sleep through it. But if it's like really important, like if I have a flight the next day, I've never overslept an alarm for something important because I think my mind just immediately realizes like, oh shit. Oh, sorry. What's going on?
I just
heard a little bit of echo on my.
Yes, because I opened up the stream on my phone.
Nice. It's cool.
I don't fly a lot. It was the first thing I thought of when you said about flights. But yeah. Okay. I mean, people in Europe don't need to fly. You know, everything they need to go to is near them. Yeah. You know. True.
Plus, train travel is just so much better in Europe.
Yeah.
Than it is here.
Very true.
Very true. Okay, so you are finding yourself. Last session, we basically the party went into the northern part of the dungeon and found goblins for themselves. They slayed some of those goblins. They negotiated with others of those goblins, and specifically, they negotiated with the leader of the goblin of the sort of the goblin tribe, a hobgoblin, and you guys kind of came to an agreement that was multifaceted, but the main point for now is that he has given you guys the location, at least his, as far as he knows, because of course, you know, maybe things have changed that he wasn't aware of, but as far as he knows, To the best of his knowledge, he's given you the location of Peter Gormland, and in exchange, he is you guys are going to welcome him and his men into your ranks and start a hobgoblin rampaging horde that will conquer the White Peak, which is what you promised him.
Eventually. Yeah.
Eventually. And yeah. It'll be one of those things where he's like, "Is it time?" And you're like, Eventually. And he's like, "Is it time?"
Look, there's a big mountain, all right? You gotta deal with the mountain, or you gotta go from south.
And he's like, "You went through the mountain. You already know how to deal with it."
Yeah, but the dwarves need to be talked to. You know, he's gotta be careful.
They point at Ragni. They're like, "He can talk to them."
He can, but he doesn't want to. You should talk to him about it.
He feels very uncomfortable with his whole conquest thing. But yeah, so that's what happened last time. And before you went any further, you decided that it was best to go and return and get a nap, get some hours of sleep in.
Yeah, send some messages as well. I think that was another big part of.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, you went to the local temple. You spoke to Corky and Dem Corky, and you sent one of the weirdest fucking names I've ever seen in a module.
Not just the name, there's the weird Spanish-French hybrid accent you threw at me. That was.
Yep. But yeah, so basically, messages were sent to both the. Basically, I think one of them was sent directly to the city, and then I forget. And the other one was sent to the castle, so that the message could be walked to the dwarves, if I remember correctly. So. That is basically what's going on there. And you gave a donation. They don't charge.
Yeah, of course.
They just strongly encourage donations.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so you guys, in other words, they don't take taxes or tolls. They take donations. They might take a fee.
It's good because I don't pay taxes.
Yeah.
Tolls.
But you will pay a donation.
An infamous trait of my D&D characters is that I don't pay tax. Yeah. So, yeah, it's good to know that I didn't have to pay tax there.
I can't wait for a tax guy to be like, "You owe tax." You're like, "I don't pay tax." And he's like, "Okay, think of it as a donation to the government." And you're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. Think of it as an exchange for the land that you own. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right." I can deal with
How
that.
about think of it as paying us to give you vital services? Okay.
I can get on board with that.
You have to speak in transactional language. It's just person doesn't understand the idea of a nation state. He's like, "Oh, okay." Anyway, so you guys went to bed, and we now begin with the classic Alessandro shaking you awake.
Oh, okay. We're still back in the town. Okay. Yeah. I agree to everything.
We can fast forward through anything, but I want to know if you wanted to do anything in town before we moved on.
One thing that comes to mind is maybe finding someone who can analyze this potion, but if there's only a cleric, I'm not going to bother with that. Maybe they will know, but I'm not going to bother anyway. I'll get everyone together. Do I want to buy anything? Another
person that might be able to analyze it is a there's probably an apothecary in town, an apothecarist, and while they might not make fire breath potions per se, is that the potion you're talking about?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so they might not make those per se, but they might have at least some knowledge that they could try to answer some questions you have.
Yeah, it was. I think I got all the knowledge I need. I was just curious about maybe replicating it, but I think that whatever ingredients are probably going to be beyond the scope of where we are right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Who knows? But yeah, an apothecarist might not know how to make one.
No, yeah,
So
the idea was maybe I could find like a wizard or something.
like a wizard, yeah.
Who could analyze the potion, yeah.
If you were serious about getting it done on this side of the mountain, there's definitely like a wizard somewhere on this side of the mountain, but like, you'd have to ask someone and figure out.
I will actually, I'll ask, and I'll use my connections with the local reeve to find the finest of toiletries salesmen in the town.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the reeve, you ask him, and he points you in the direction. He points you in the direction of a local sort of. He's not like a traveling salesman, but he basically just sets up a stall at the market, and he says his stuff is really good, although he's a little bit eccentric. You had to find him. By the way, the reeve seemed, when you met with him, friendlier than he was the first time. I mean, he was pretty friendly the first time, but I think he's even more warmed up to you now. I think he seemed to have less like apprehension, and he was just talking to you about your day and stuff. But yeah, so you that was your day, and you go to the market, and you see that the toiletry salesman is easy to spot because he has a giant bar of soap that he made to display his wares. That he has, instead of a sign, he just has a giant bar of soap on top of his like cart. Gotcha. And he says, "Hello, how can I help you?"
Hello, friend. I actually have come across a very fine piece of work that I think you may be interested in. Do you do much purchasing while in town?
Well, it saves me money if I do not have to pay the exorbitant export fees. This is local?
No, indeed. It is actually crafted by the finest Valentarran elves. And I show him the elf soap. That I had acquired.
He definitely is taken aback. He's like, "This is very special. Where did you find this? You did not import it yourself, I am guessing."
No. It was imported actually by the family of the former Baden of Moorland. I got that right? Moorland's the barony?
Yep.
Yeah, of Moorland. I was doing some work for their family, and that involved looking through one of their old manors. This was here.
Well, it is certainly genuine, as he begins to look it over, and he says, "Valentarran soap is the finest soap in the land. I pride myself in having good soap, but..." and he holds up his soap, and it's like a brownish yellow.
Oh, yeah.
And the Valentarran soap is white as chalk, as a cloud. Medieval soap was normally like kind of brownish or even black in some cases, because you can make it out of charcoal, you can make it out of animal fat. So like, if you're not an absolute expert, it will not turn out white. But the Valentarran soap does. And he takes it and he smells it. It smells like lavender almost. And he says, "Well, I cannot let a deal like this pass up. I would be interested in parlaying. Do you know how much this is worth yourself, or would you like me to make an offer?"
I think you have a lot more. Experience in the manor. I would be willing to listen to your offer.
Very good. And he looks over the fineness. Did you write down how much soap I gave you?
Half a pound.
Oh, in poundage. I like it. Yeah. So he looks it over and he says, "Is he certainly fine for this amount in this quality?" I would say 5 gold would be a fair price.
Okay. Can I?
If it was fresh, I would pay more. But, and he smells it. It is. I think it was made a long time ago.
That's true. I have no idea how much it's worth, but can I roll something like insight to see if I just
absolutely
get an idea? Yeah.
Yeah, try to pick up an idea of. So I would let you roll one of two, but you'd have to pick. You could roll a check to try to identify the value of the soap, which I think would be harder, or you could roll insight to see if you pick up on any deception from him.
Yeah, just to see if he believes what he's saying, I guess. There you go, 7.
Oh, he's just like the truth seeker. No, yeah, you don't think he's lying.
Okay.
I mean, merchants. Obviously, the way this goes is they're not going to pay you what they're going to sell it for. But I mean, you're well aware of that, and you don't think he's giving you a ridiculously low fee.
I say to him, "How about this? You pay me 4 gold, and you give me
a foot rub.
You give me something to keep me smelling nice. It doesn't have to be the same quantity, but just something on the side that you have."
Oh, of course, 1 gold of my soap, and he goes into his little thing and starts pulling things out. And he says, "Do you like the smell of honey, lavender, or lilacs?"
Lilacs.
Very good, very good. We don't have that. No, I'm just kidding.
But I can order it in for you for extra.
He pulls out. That reminds me of a CD shop I went to once, where like I went in and I was like, "Do you have this CD?" And he's like, "Let me check." He spends 20 minutes looking for it, and he goes, "We don't have it, but I can order it for you." And I'm like, okay. Anyway, but yeah, he pulls out a bar of sort of brownish soap, but it has a pink hue to it. And he actually pulls out 3 of these bars. So you have you just write down 3 bars of soap. They probably each weigh a half a pound.
Okay.
And yeah, he gives you those, and he says, "These would keep you smelling very nice. I would use warm water if you can, but cold water can work. You just need to rub harder."
Not too hard, though, I say, looking at my flimsy bones. Anyway.
Oh no, yes, skin will peel eventually. Do not leave it on too long.
Okay, and then yeah, that's all good. Oh, and I guess I should add 4 gold to it.
Yeah. Yes, add 4 gold.
Cool.
Come again. Okay. Is that now the extent of your business in town?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't thought of anything else.
Cool. Okay, so you gather up your group, and I think Alessandra would say to you, "So, sir."
Ooh.
Sorry about that. He says, "So, sir, what is the plan for the day?"
This doesn't sound like Alessandra.
Yeah, I don't know. I just started doing the soap guy's voice.
Gotcha.
What's the plan for today?
Do you think we can offer anything to this druid? Wait, we think he's a druid, right? We think he's a crazy druid. That's the phrase that's being used.
You've been told he's a crazy druid.
Okay. Do you think we can offer anything to this druid? In negotiations, you ever had to have a strong position or something to offer someone?
So you plan on negotiating with the man?
That would be my first option, but yesterday I could not see it going well, so it wouldn't have been my plan. But I'd like to revisit it.
Well, druids value the sanctity of life, from what I understand. Although, I'm not sure if this druid cares as much. Druids also... I've heard sometimes they do not like civilization. In some cases, I think they sometimes are... don't like the idea of having to rely on technology. I'm no expert, though. And the fact that he's not completely in his mind certainly does not help us trying to figure out what he wants. I suppose. Well, I suppose if we simply offer him something to appease him and tell him that all we want is the boy.
But the problem is, I want more than that.
What else do you want? Oh, you want to clear out the castle, right?
For the kobolds and the goblins. I think we need to fight him, but we need more information. I think we should get to the grove level, and we should have you scout ahead and see if you can figure out exactly what we're up against.
Okay.
Right.
I'll do my best. I should warn you, I'm more experienced in long-range stealthing. Although there's forest down there, I've heard, so maybe I can hide in the trees.
A very powerful ability I have not been using yet. Let's see how it works.
What ability?
The Chief Scout one.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah.
I forgot about their fucking abilities. Jeez. What's, Man, let me familiarize myself once again with their abilities. Let's see. Okay, so Ragni is good in mass battles. Oh yeah, so Renault is once again good in mass battles. Okay, Chief Scout's super good for this, and Treasurer. Oh yeah, you could also just be using the Treasurer to purchase things. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually a lot, quite a decent number too.
Yeah. So that is actually a decent number. You can buy some. I mean, at max, you could buy 180 gold item if you roll a 6. But anyway, or less, obviously. So you guys gather up, and I forget how you. What kind of? I remember you changed. You did some stuff with speeds the last time you marched to the dungeon. Do you do the same thing?
I think so. I don't remember exactly what I did. There's something like 1 hour slow and 1 hour faster, or something. 1 hour slow, 1 hour medium.
Why did you do that again? I forget.
Because it would still be 2 hours, and I can stealth for one of those hours. I don't remember.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I must say, and this is not meant to mean anything more than it is, but I've never had a player interact so much with the speed mechanics of the game.
Look, you put a hike in front of me that required the speed interaction. It's a tool at my disposal.
Do you usually think about the speed in the way you've been doing in this campaign, or is that new to you as well? Is that something I rarely think.
Definitely not as much as this campaign. Yeah, definitely not.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, you guys are going to do that then. You go at normal speed for an hour, and then at slow speed. And you eventually get to the keep again, to the Sunless Citadel.
Awesome. We will decline down our rope.
Oh, climb, yeah. Okay. When you said decline, I thought you meant we refuse to enter. Like, okay. Where'd you go?
Wait, is that an option? We'd like to ride to the north. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, it's a sandbox. I run most of my games as a sandbox. Generally the only game where it would have really fucked with me if the party that I've ever run, where it would have really fucked with me if the party just said, no, I'm going to do this instead, was the Star Wars game. Because I designed that to be, in some sense, kind of on rails. Even then, you could do a little bit of stuff that was not completely planned for. But, I mean, in this game, yeah, I mean, if you just decided to ride north and fight a dragon, I mean, yeah, we can do that. So, which is part of the reason of giving you all these like characters as companions in this guild. It's to sort of generate your own ideas of what you want to do, right? Like, I mean, you can get quest hooks from the world, but I like it in this campaign. It seems like you are already thinking of a lot of interesting things you want to do, at least for yourself, relating to the guild, and possibly overthrow the guild, and possibly overthrow your whole family. Well, at least the leadership. You want a coup d'etat. Actually, I haven't discussed this, because clearly, in some sense, you are planning eventually on coup d'etat-ing your family.
Yes.
Do you think Tarius, any part of him, thinks that he wants to coup d'etat the captain of the company?
No, but only because Tarius is convinced that he's the next captain anyway.
Oh, that makes sense. So it's that with his family, he's not. There's no way he's going to inherit. Yeah. So he's like considering doing some stuff.
That's the only way he can do it.
With the captain, as long as the captain, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, that's the way I'm trying to play Tarius' lawfulness to some extent. It's like, as long as like when you start to run into a barrier to like gaining power, then if you've only got one option, then you try and do it the best way possible. But people are gonna die. Might die, might not die.
Yeah, I mean, it's a kind of law. I think that it maybe it also might be that to Tarius, it might be that the politics of a family court might just be part of what the law is, right? That might just be part of what a lawful society is like, has these sort of courtly intrigues where people are backstabbed and things like that.
And Tarius thinks that, like, you know, as part of, to be an heir or a lord, like, part of that is an obligation to defend that right, and so he's there to provide a challenge.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so you guys descend down using the rope. You cross the trap at the front of the door. Do you go directly to the goblin part of the dungeon? Do you visit the kobolds? Do you go anywhere else? What do you do?
We pop our head in to let the kobolds know we're back, and then we head to the goblin part of the dungeon.
Okay, yeah, cool. They say hi. Meepo says hi. He's very happy to see you. And he's encouraged. He's like, oh, I'm so glad you're looking for my baby.
Yes, we figured out where it is, but we are working on negotiating how exactly we're going to get access to it.
Oh! Well, I know what she wants you to do. And he points to the leader.
Oh, I see. What does she want us to do?
Well, you know. And Meepo just does like the... just kill him! The goblins, I mean. Not my baby! And he freaks out. So you do you then head back to the goblin area?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so you find yourself back there. And you meet with Dorn, who says, it is good to see you again. I see you have returned safely.
Indeed.
I imagine that you are planning on descending the grove today.
Correct.
Very good. I wish you luck. And hopefully you can find this Peter safe.
Indeed, hopefully.
I give you my word that on our part, we never harmed the boy. Well, I mean, a little smack here and there, but he's fine.
What can be done, eh?
Hey. But, you know, real harm. You know, like we didn't cut off an ear or anything.
That's good. Did you cut off anything else?
No, we cut off nothing.
Good job.
He
Sorry about that. I'm distracted. I just got a bit of an onset of some toothache.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's been.
Is it a particularly achy tooth?
Yes, it is. It's right next to my wisdom tooth. But it's been a few. It hasn't been long enough since I took a different set of painkillers, so I had to look and find to see if I had any left of a different set of painkillers that I'm allowed to take. Look, I have a lot of painkillers, so I found some painkillers I can take.
I was talking. Are these like opioids, or are these just?
No, this is just Nurofen, ibuprofen.
Oh, okay, ibuprofen. Yeah. And then the other kind, those are the strong ones.
I don't even know what they are. They are my prescriptions though from when I had my back operation, so they are a little stronger.
Oh, yeah, they're probably pretty strong. That's rough.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, toothaches are rough. I need to actually go to the dentist soon. I haven't been in a while. Get a check.
So because I'm not used to paying for healthcare, you have to pay for the dentist here, and it's really annoying. So I just don't go.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
That's man, if only Bernie Sanders was elected as prime minister.
Yes. It's
a joke because he wanted to extend dental care to Medicare for all. Like that was part of one of his campaign promises. It was just anyway. That's actually that is somewhat surprising that dental care is not included in the NHS.
It is because I think there's like it's subsidized by the NHS or something. There's something to do with the NHS, and also if you've got emergency dentist needs, then you can go to. There are NHS dentists that you can access via emergencies and stuff.
But you have to pay for checkups and things like that.
Yeah, and treatment.
Is there like private dental insurance companies?
Yes.
Oh my god, that's funny.
It's also the same with opticians, and also all of this is for if you're under a certain age.
Oh. Like a restaurant, not a rest, I'm trying to think like a water park or I'm trying to think of things where kids can get it for free. Anyway,
school.
School. Yeah, that's actually a good point. Yeah, school. Hopefully, not in Betsy DeVos's America. Anyway, so you guys are gathered around this big pit, and Alessandro is getting suited up. He's just checking all his gear and stuff, and he says, "Well, I will return with what information I can. How are you? What are you going to just wait for me up here?"
Wait, so there's no stairs then? It's just a pit down here?
There's a bunch of vines that you can climb down, but it is basically just a pit.
Damn.
It looks as though maybe there was some sort of structure here at one point, but it's somehow fallen away.
Okay. I say yeah. Then I say yeah. I'll wait for him up here.
Okay. Yeah. Then he begins to climb down the vines. And while he goes down there, Durin says, "I prepared for your return, this time with hospitality." And he points to the corner where they have a table set up with some food and drink.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll go and eat and drink.
It's all poisoned, you fool! I betrayed you!
No.
Actually, it would be pretty easy to poison Tarius because of how much he is absolutely is I need to eat every day.
However, I do think a lot of poisons require con saves, and Tarius is proficient in con saves, so...
That's true, and as we know, if you're proficient, you automatically succeed.
Yeah.
That's the rule of poisons, I think.
Yeah. I think when Tarius gets to level 11, he'll have a +0 to his con saves, so that's pretty good.
That's just a straight D20. That's just pure luck, baby. It's up to the gods then. Nobody's interfering.
And Tarius is named after a god. Demigod.
That's true. A demigoddess. A demigot, if you were German. But yeah, while you guys partake in those snacks, let me check something.
While you're checking that, I'm gonna go try and find some more painkillers. I'll be right back.
Okay. How about then we take a 5-minute break?
Sure, that sounds good.
Okay.
I'm back.
Hello.
Hello. All right, so yeah,
Did you find the right?
I couldn't find anything that I could currently take. Hopefully, in like an hour or two, I can grab some.
You know what you could do? What they did in the old days is they would just hit themselves in the foot so hard that they were focused on that and not focused on the mouth.
My body has a reflex like that sometimes because of how like my joints. I don't know, something to do with my joints. I'm sure where I will like bend a joint really hard, just like what's the word? Subconsciously. So I'll be sitting there and it'll be like this. You probably see this sometimes with the way I like posture, where I'll like just do that.
I know what you're talking about now.
Where like usually I'll just do this instinctively, but when I'm in pain I'll do it a lot more and I won't notice that I'm bending it too far until it's really hurting, and then it does sometimes take it away, which is good because my joints don't hurt that much, luckily, unless it's my back or my my knee. So if I can break a finger, then that'd be great. But unfortunately, they're so fucked up these days that they're pretty hard to break. So
wait, your fingers are so fucked up you can't break them?
Well, it's harder to break them because they're so flexible now. So you have to put them into some really awkward positions to start breaking them, I guess.
I think you could break my fingers incredibly easily. I never crack my knuckles. I never do anything weird with my fingers. I do my toes. I'm constantly cracking, constantly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I curl my toes and crack them a lot. And then I'll do this with my neck. Although I don't do that crazy thing some people do, where they like fucking like wrench their neck real hard, and you just hear this like loud cracking. That disturbs the shit out of me. Anyway,
I don't like seeing other. One thing that bothers me, even though I really like it for just like relaxation and stuff, is watching massages. But when people actually do the cracking to other people, that freaks me out because I wouldn't let anybody else do it to me because they might not know when to stop, whereas I know when to stop instinctively. You know what I mean? Like, there's a few things that I do to myself that I wouldn't let other people do to me.
For sure. I mean, chiropractors have always freaked me out a little bit for that reason. Like the idea that they do this whole fucking neck twist thing, and I'm just like, what if you fuck up and break someone's neck? Like, everyone's got to have a bad day eventually, and when you do it,
especially when you're because people's bodies are so different instinctively. But when you've got shit like me, where I bet you haven't handled someone with a neck like mine before, so I'm just scared that like, oh, this looks very flexible, and it's like, yeah, well, don't go too far.
Don't go too deep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I enjoy the hospitality of the hobgoblins. I give them an earnest smile, and I hope that it's good food.
It's rat piss.
No, why, Marshall?
They got out the best food they could for you, which is decent. It's like all right. They got out bread that wasn't moldy. They got out jerky that wasn't dried completely to dust, and they got out wine that was freshly made. So it's still vinegary, but it's not absolutely vinegary.
Awesome. I mean, that's pretty impressive. They clearly have taken a liking to me.
Oh yeah. Plus, they're not. His soldiers just aren't as picky as humans. So like they'll eat anything. I mean, not anything. They're not fucking monsters. But
how long did it take us to get from the entrance or from the cliff top to here?
It probably took you about 20 minutes.
Okay.
If the only time you stopped was to talk to the kobolds, it probably took you 20 minutes.
I'm actually thinking we might want a change of tact because it's possible. It's possible. Yeah, actually, I will change my tact. I will come here and enjoy the hospitality of the goblins, but then instead of sending Alessandro down, we'll head south instead.
Oh shit! Alessandro stopped. He's like, oh fuck. He climbs back up quick. Why the change in tactic?
Alessandro's going to spend an hour scouting. We might want to be short resting during that for efficiency's sake.
Oh.
I might want to be short resting. I think I'm the only one who cares about a short rest. Because the rest
I like it.
Just do hit dice, right? No, they don't even do anything. They just, yeah.
They get 1 wound back on a short rest. So if any of them get damaged, a short rest is very effective for them. But it's not. They don't get wounded very often, so it's probably mainly going to be you. Okay, we're gonna see if this works. It should if the Grove worked. Because I'm just doing exactly what I did there. Famous last words.
Famous last words.
Okay, can you see a circular room?
Yes.
Okay, everyone's in.
Awesome.
So, yeah, you head back to this area. I just noticed the gruesome kobold corpses.
Yeah.
But yeah, you head back to this area. You know the southern part of the dungeon is behind this door.
Cool. All right, let's do the old breach and clear formation. Can you see what I see now, or is that still fucked?
So I could see what you saw, and just as you said that, it went weird.
Wow.
I'm not even shit.
Maybe
it was
Ragni
like
isn't partially in another room. Does this work?
I think it was. I think that triggered it, but now it's you can't go back now. It's too late.
All right. Well.
Oh, all right.
All right.
Don't want to make you feel guilty, son. Oh, it's okay. I understand.
Hold on, I have an idea. This idea is probably gonna go terribly.
You're not my dad.
Yeah, there's nothing being leaked there. Oh, no, that definitely is going terribly.
I can see it.
Yeah, you can, but now the stream's gonna be fucked. Yes.
I'll just look at the stream and just be slightly behind.
Okay. All right. So yeah, Ragni's gonna open that door slowly, real slow, like. Yeah. Okay. Ragni will enter.
Tried not to open it too suddenly.
Yeah.
So, the masonry walls of this 20-foot wide hall are in poor repair. The far end has collapsed, filling the southern section with rubble. The western wall is in much better shape than the outer walls, and it holds a stone door with a rearing dragon carved in relief on it. The door has a single keyhole situated in the rearing dragon's open mouth.
Okay. I'm gonna check the floors to see if I see anything unusual. So I'm just gonna check the walls and ceilings.
Okay. Yeah, you guys can roll some perception.
Cool. I will. this open somewhere else? It's not making the little noises when I roll. Which is a little strange.
I can hear them.
I can. Uh, 15 for Alessandro and 18 for me.
Nice. Okay, yeah. So, Alessandro begins to look around the ceiling. You begin to look around the floor. And as you're doing so, you basically come across a little bit of rubble on the floor, and you can see it before it strikes. A giant rat sort of is coming out of the rubble, and it looks like it's planning to attack you. But you beat its stealth, so I'm going to let you get a free hit on it.
Okay. Me and Alessandro around or just attacks?
Just attacks. We're not running this as combat since there's only one. We're just gonna run it kind of like as a trap.
Okay. Sure. Me and Alessandro, right? Or just one of us?
You can both do it, yeah.
Okay. I guess I'll go first because Alessandro auto hits. 11.
That misses.
All right. 14 from Alessandro.
That hits, and the arrow kills the rat. Alessandro immediately spins as soon as the rat jumps out. Your blade misses. The rat jumps on top of it, starts to scurry up your arm, and just as it reaches your face, an arrow goes through the side of it, and it falls down dead.
I'm glad you're there, because else I probably would have an arrow in the back of my head right now.
I've never hit a comrade, except that one time. We don't talk about that.
Renault will move towards the door, but he's going to tap his lance on the floor as he moves.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Does he get to the door?
He does.
Alright. Oh, I accidentally went into the room, and now I can see the room. It's my bad.
Okay.
We're gonna open
you're gonna put the key into the dragon door?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you do so. You hear a kind of and you see the dragon's mouth open wider and recede slightly into the door, and when this happens, the door opens of its own accord. And you see the following. As the door opens, a hissing noise and a puff of dust around the door indicate that the chamber beyond has been sealed for ages. Dust, long disturbed, covers every surface in this large gallery. The air here is stale. 3 alcoves are on the north wall, and 1 is on the south wall. Each alcove contains a dust-covered stone pedestal with a fist-sized crystalline globe resting on it. The globes in the northern alcoves are cracked and dark, but the globe in the southern alcove glows with a soft blue light. Faint tinkling notes issue from it.
We'll enter in, and then I'll ask Kristen, do you know anything about what's going on in here?
She looks around, and she says, well, it's rather strange that it sounds like music, doesn't it? At least a little bit.
A little bit.
Well, she says, I've never encountered something like this, except, well, at my university, we once went on trials that involved music. I believe that we had to listen for certain notes and put them together, match them with other notes, but I'm not sure if that's what this is. All of them sound discordant.
I'm going to go up to the one on the far right, and I'm going to try and...
And of course, just to remind you, also there's a door as well. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Okay.
I think I did.
see it, but
yeah.
About this stuff for now. I'm gonna try picking up the one on the far right. I'm not sure if I hear whether they were attached or just on things.
Yeah, they if you touch it, it appears to just be resting on it. You can pick it up.
Okay. I'll try swapping it with the middle one, just to see if anything happens.
Okay, so I see. So you, the broken middle one, the dark middle one.
Are all three of these top ones broken? Right.
Well, I say broken. I suppose that's kind of value laden. I more mean they look cracked and dark as opposed to the light one.
Okay.
Who knows if they're, but they're all three of the top ones. They're cracked and dark and silent. But you can do that. You switch the middle one with the one you just picked up.
Cool. Yeah. Does anything happen?
When you do so, nothing occurs.
Cool. Also, I got a question. Do you have an Ethernet cable yet?
Do I have an Ethernet cable?
Yet, yeah.
Who's to say?
Okay, that sounds like a no. If I promise to have my third monitor reattached by next week, do you promise to get an Ethernet cable by next week?
Sure.
Alright, cool. Deal. Nothing occurs. Okay. And I put the middle one on the right, and I assume nothing occurs for that either.
Nothing occurs.
Alright. Okay, can I pick up the light one?
You walk over to the light one to try to raise it?
Yeah.
Cool. You walk over there, and a sort of brooding music begins to play.
As I walk over, or as I pick it up?
Basically, when you get 5 feet from it.
Okay. I'd like to...
And it sounds like this.
Oh. Ooh.
And as you do so, as all of you hear the music, I need everyone to make a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw.
Success from Tarius. Fail from Ragni. Success from Alessandro. Fail from Renault. Fail from Kristen. So me and Alessandro passed, of course. And everybody else failed.
Okay. So wait. Oh yeah, so Ragni, so Renault, and Kristen failed.
Yes.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course, that's the dynamic at play.
What do you mean dynamic at play, Marshall? I don't like the sound of that.
What?
Are they gonna kill me?
They kill you. The three of them begin to, you can see they hear the music and they start to sort of sway, and all three of them say, no, and they all begin to walk away from this room, heading back from where you came. Alessandro looks at you with this kind of look like, what do we do?
Hold on. Just want to read something before I decide. Not curse. Yeah, poison, poison. I don't think that's gonna help. I think this is a charm, if anything. Okay. For now, me and Alessandro like group up here and watch to see where they go.
Yeah, you see them head back in the room that you came from.
Okay.
And then you see them exit that room and head back to the main chamber.
Okay, we will follow. Are they doing anything in the main chamber?
You see them go towards
the
exit of the... At this point, you can no longer hear it.
Okay. They exit the main door.
But you're not sure if that's because it stopped or because it faded away. Like you think as you got farther away from it, you couldn't hear it as well.
Sure.
But yeah, they reach the front door of the whole dungeon, and they exit it. And as soon as they step outside, you can see them all sort of shake, and they turn back around. And Ragnar goes, "Wait, where am I? What just happened?" And he walks back in.
You got there was this music that started playing, and then you all started acting weird.
Oh. Weird. And he says, "I don't remember that." And Kristen says, "No, neither do I." And Renault says, "Well, if you say so."
I say, well, it only started when I got too close to it. So maybe, Kristen, you could cast Mage Hand to pick it up without having to get close.
Kristen kills herself.
Okay. I mean, I will tell everyone to stay in that rocky room.
It'd be funny if a player joined a high-level party but has a first-level wizard, and the party was constantly like, "Oh, maybe you could cast this spell," and the wizard never has the spell. They just bully him.
That would be funny. However, I'd like to make it clear that a first-level wizard could do all the things that I've asked Kristen to do.
Well, that's true. I'm just saying you would scale it up to the whatever,
Of course, yes. Hello.
You'd be like, "Oh, why don't you just Misty Step?" And they'd be like,
So I will have everybody except for Tarius stand in this entrance room. And then I would... I'd like to approach the orb again, but this time I'd like to stealth. Can I sneak? Can I
yeah, as soon as you enter the room, the music is still playing.
Oh shit. Do I need to make another saving throw, or am I good?
No.
Oh.
You're fine.
Okay, well I'll invite Alessandro in. Is he fine?
Yeah, he immediately starts dancing. No, I'm just kidding. He's fine.
I invite Kristen
in. Kristen needs to make a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw.
Fails.
She starts walking away.
Alright. I'll invite Ralton.
DC 15 Wisdom saving throw.
Succeeds.
He says, "This music is terrible."
Okay, cool. Get Ragnar in here. Saving throw again?
Wisdom?
Yeah, just asking if... I assumed he needed to make it, but just in case. So now, I'm not going to follow them. I assume the same thing's going to happen. They just exit and then they realize who they are.
Yeah, a few 2 minutes later, you see them coming back through the door.
Okay, Ragnar first. Does he need to still make the saving throw? I assume so. He makes it this time.
He says, "What in God's name is happening? I keep finding myself at that damn door."
I have no idea, Agni. I'm just hoping that eventually you'll all make it in here. Hey, still made it.
Oh, that music is very scary.
I'm gonna now walk towards the orb again.
Okay.
I'm 5 feet away. Does anything happen?
Nope.
I'm 0 feet away. Does anything happen?
Nope.
I place my hand on the orb. Does anything happen?
Yeah, the music becomes louder.
Oh.
But nothing else happens.
I pick it up.
Yep.
Music still
Nothing
playing?
happened. Music's still playing.
At the volume that it was when I put my hand on it?
Yeah.
Okay. I will walk over to the right top orb.
Yeah.
Does anybody need to make a saving throw while I walk past them? Because it's loud now.
Nope.
Okay. I put it on that pedestal, the right top one.
Okay. You do so?
Yep. And the music's the same.
Nothing happens.
All right. Yes. Fuck it. I put it on the middle one.
You switch it with the middle one?
Yeah, middle broken one. Middle cracked one.
Okay, yeah. Nothing happens.
Okay.
Top one?
The left. Yeah, top left.
Nothing happens.
Okay, I leave it on the top left. I take the top left cracked orb and I go down and put it where the light one was.
Okay, yeah, you see as the glass begins to repair and it ignites with light.
Ooh. I wait. See if
When this happens, you hear the music stop playing, and you turn around, and the orb that was lit before, you can see it begins to crack and turn dark.
Okay. I wait a little bit at this one. I also step 5 feet back, but
cool.
And I wait like 5 minutes, and I'm seeing if this one starts playing music, I guess.
Okay, and then you head up 5 feet towards it?
Well, I'll wait 5 minutes. I'm seeing if it plays music for... I'm 5 feet away from it, where the last one triggered.
Yeah, okay, in that case, yes, it starts.
Cool.
Whoa.
What type of music is it? Or are you about to play it for me?
Sure, we'll say it's different. I'll play it.
Oh, no, it can be the same. That's fine if it's the same. It's alright.
No.
It's not? Okay.
Actually, these are probably copyright. Never mind. Oh, wait. This isn't copyright. I'm pretty sure this one.
We don't really care about copyright. I played a bunch of Amazon Music stuff last week, remember?
Oh, you did? Oh, was that Amazon Music? That's funny. Okay, in that case. I play
on the TW streams, yeah. You can tell this puzzle is good, because it's the first thing in the session that's got me to forget about the toothache. I guess it's not really a puzzle, it's just a concept. It might be a puzzle, but we don't know that yet.
It's just things.
It's just things, yeah. But humans, they have a weird pattern recognition monkey brain, so we've got to make everything into a puzzle, right? Ooh. Isn't this too old to be copyright? Doesn't copyright expire after a little while? It's been 100 years.
I'm fairly certain this is fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is fair use, or not fair use. It's a public domain. That's what it's called. Yeah. Gotta love public domain.
Yeah. This is good too.
Yeah.
Do I need to make a saving throw?
Nope.
It's good though. Is this actually what's playing?
Yeah.
I'm very confused back at everyone. I'm like, it's like a singer.
Alessandro nods and he says, "This is certainly some sort of strange magic."
If we could get this in the meat hall, it would be quite the thing. A joke.
He nods.
Everyone can probably tell that it's a joke. But it would be good. Oh. It'd be good, but
Alessandro thought you were serious. I mean, he thinks it's not a terrible idea.
It would be good, but the joke part is that this doesn't seem to be a transportable object. Although, I guess it was maybe. Wait, it was still playing? No, wait, it was still playing when I was walking across the room. The first one.
Yeah.
But it was only on the pedestal that it broke. Oh, that's a good idea. Alright. I'll take this one off, and I'll place it on the floor.
Okay.
Is it still playing?
Yeah.
I'll walk over to the top left one that made us all make saving throws. I pick it up and I put it back on the light pedestal.
Okay. Yeah, when you do so, it begins to grow the cracks, turns light, and...
What about the one that's on the floor?
The one that's on the floor grows dark and cracks.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay, I quickly grab the one off of the light pedestal. It might be too late, though. Okay.
Okay, and then what do you do then? You just...
I put it on the floor, and then I'll go up to the top.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, you go to the top middle?
Yeah, I go to the top.
Yeah, it would still be playing. Yeah. You go to the top middle?
Do we need to make new saving throws, or was the first one enough?
No, okay. You're immune. I'll just tell you, all of you are immune for 24 hours.
Cool. I'll grab the top middle one and I'll repair it.
Okay, yeah, you head over with the top middle one, you place it on. It repairs, the other one breaks.
It's gonna end up taking us like an hour.
This is what you hear.
I can hear it, yeah. Alright.
Do you recognize the song?
Unfortunately, when I click on Jukebox, I can see the title.
I see.
It's good, though. I like it. I'm going to grab the top right one and see what it does when I put it on the pedestal.
Okay.
This is interesting. I'm just wondering, like... I'm hoping one of these plays... Oh. This is good. I wish one of them played like 500 miles so that we could have it in our pocket while we're traveling, and everyone, like, eventually all the party members would be like, please, can we change the magic orb? But Tarius is like, I like it. Never gets old.
Also, to change the magic orb, you need to bring this pedestal.
Yeah. Oh, maybe one day Alessandro in my sleep will steal it and smash it. I wonder if... It's interesting. I'm thinking about practical uses of the very first one. Oh! This is good. I didn't recognize this until the chorus just kicked in. Anyway. I'll take it off for now. I guess I leave it, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I suppose with everything explored, I turned to Kristen and I just see if she has any ideas for any other uses, but I feel like I've explored the potential of this room.
She says, I suppose we could bring one back with us, although it would mean there'd be noise coming from our party wherever we go.
It's true.
Although, perhaps we could muffle it.
I try putting it like underneath my armor. Does it muffle at all?
Yeah. It's slightly less loud.
Okay. And also, we couldn't hear it when we were in like this room, so I guess stone walls will do quite well.
Stone walls are really thick, yeah.
So there's that. We could perhaps build a stone tank.
Yeah, you could also probably wrap it in blankets and put it in a bag or something.
I think it's way easier if we built a stone tank.
Yeah, that's easier.
I agree.
The tank method.
Alright, let's move on from music room and consider that when we're done with this dungeon, I guess. Ragni and
the second music room of the campaign.
True, yeah, no, I thought about it. I was thinking about that, yeah. Alright.
It's a very musical campaign we're
really what I'm figuring out is that instead of this hobgoblin army, we should just convert into a tourist company to take people on tours of the castle and the old manor.
Yeah. Would you like to see a ghost hallucination? Come into this room.
It's very weird,
you get to participate in a weird surgery. Hope you're ready.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. God, this company's been going on a while.
Yep.
Right. Ragni's gonna open a door. Slowly. While Tarius Hawkeyes behind him to see if there's anything that he needs to watch out for when he opens the door.
Ragni is immediately killed.
No, not Ragni.
No!
Ragni's my favorite.
He was the best of us all.
This is strange. Tarius, Renault, and Kristen are all pixelated. But
Weird.
Alessandro and Ragni are full high quality.
I think the pixelation is so funny because it makes you look like we're playing like a game from the 90s. It's like we're playing like an old CRPG.
We kind of are with the module, right?
Yeah, we are, yeah. I mean, it wasn't a CRPG. I don't think it was ever on a video game, but
an old game from the 90s, I believe. Is
Yeah.
Or,
let me see. This one was made... Oh, no. This sort of close to the 90s. The Sunless Citadel was the beginning adventure of the third edition.
Yeah, I thought
so. It was basically the... what's the one for D&D, for 5e called? I forget.
Lost Mines, Fandelver.
Yeah, Lost. So this was like the Lost Mines of third edition, which is kind of interesting. But yeah.
So
you said back. No, it's 2000 exactly.
Oh.
Yeah, it says 2000.
Cool.
Yeah. So Ragni opens the door.
There's a car outside playing copyrighted music. Can you hear that?
I can't hear it if it makes you feel better.
Yeah, that does make me feel better. Sorry.
What kind of music is it?
I can't tell if it's pop or... I don't know.
Modern music. The things of which...
No, I was going to describe it as nightcore, but I feel like it's not quite nightcore. Anyway.
What's nightcore?
It's like...
I don't know what all the cores are.
Nightcore is like high-pitched, fast remixes of just normal songs.
Oh! Okay, so like electric remixes of... Okay.
I guess so, yeah.
I'm guessing pretty usually like dubstep, electric, stuff like that. Maybe not dubstep, but...
It's a little bit more chill than dubstep, I think. I think it's literally just...
Oh, is it?
I think you literally just up the pitch and speed it up a bit. I think that's literally all that
so, mouse core, if you will. Mickey Mouse core.
Mickey Mouse.
Anyway.
You asked me a question, but I've forgotten what it was.
I was just double-checking that Ragni was opening the door, right?
Yeah, and Tarius is behind him. And so he's instructing Ragni to open it slowly, and then Tarius is just looking at what's...
Cool, yeah. The air is stale in this 20-foot-long corridor, which leads to another closed stone door.
Alright. Me and Ragni will back away as Renault walks down the corridor, tapping the floor with his lance.
Yeah. Yeah, he does so. And when he does, when he places his lance on the floor, almost immediately, you all see and hear, you hear a whizzing whoosh, and you see very briefly what looks like an arrow fly from one part of the wall to the other, and there's now an arrow embedded in the other part of the wall.
Ooh, nice. I'm going to have him tap the lance in the same spot and see what happens again, or whether there was just one.
It appeared to just be one.
Cool. So he'll move forward slightly and keep tapping to see if there's more of these?
Yep, there's two more.
Cool.
But he activates them all, and then it's safe.
I'm going to go afterwards and see if the arrows are salvageable.
Oh, I like it. Roll me a d4.
Sure.
Don't roll 1.
Okay.
Like I'm advising you.
3.
Okay, 2 of them are salvageable.
That's pretty good. I grabbed the 2. What's with the other
Cool.
one? Is the arrowhead just stuck in the wall? Is that why it's not?
It basically it shot into the stone so hard that it just got bent and like the arrowhead is now bent.
You said 2, right?
Yeah, 2.
Cool.
The reason a 3 is 2 is that a 1 would be none.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. Got you.
So. Okay, yeah. You guys get in safely. No other traps activate.
Cool.
Oh, let me play something else.
Sure. Right, Ragni's going to go up to his position to the left of Alessandro. We'll flood in behind. Flood.
You guys are just storming the dungeon with, despite all my rage, I am still... just like, as everyone...
Hell yeah, dude.
The goblins are
it would be cool if somehow we could record into these and we just record our the theme of House Gladwin as we march and conquer.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
It'd be especially cool on a big battlefield. You just hear this echoing dun 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 dun. It's like your army actually hears like the music that are in movies.
And then, we have like various renditions of it being sung in the mead halls, and then we bring it to the battlefield.
You hire like a recording label.
Hell yeah! Fucking. Well, what year is it again? Let's have a look here. Adra calendar. Oh, so yeah, the 3rd era version of this particular theme. What era are we actually in? I don't think we're... It says here 3rd era, but I think you said that was wrong, right? Or are we actually...
No, 3rd era is correct.
Okay. Cool.
I think I might have written on a different document. I think originally it said 5th era, and I had to erase that.
Which era was the other campaign I played in? 5th era.
It was 5th era, which is why the old documents had that written on it. So, yeah, I'm guessing you're gonna have the same old plan. Ragni slowly opens.
Tarius behind him. Yeah. Ooh, a dragon. It's red. We were told there's a white dragon. Oh,
another dragon. There's got to be more dragon things in here. There's always more dragons.
All right, Ralton walks in.
Dust.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dust fills this hall like a layer of gray snow. In the rounded northern end of the chamber stands a 10-foot-tall sculpture of a coiled dragon carved from red-veined white marble. Ooh.
Oh, this way.
That sounds cool.
That's so cool.
I don't even know how the fuck you do that, but I want it in my house.
Well, how is marble like? Marble is found, right? It's like dug, or
yeah, it's mined out of quarries usually. It's like granite usually, or marble might be its own. No, granite's its own thing. So marble is its own type of stone.
How do they make it so smooth when they construct with it? Because they don't use bricks, right? They use like smooth.
They literally have to carve it out one chip at a time.
Ah, like dwarves. Like dwarves doing everything.
That's how they would do it in I don't know how modern marble makers do it. I'm sure they have machines that can speed up the process. But I know that old masons, they literally just chip, small chips, and eventually you have whatever shape you're looking for. It's a bitch.
Interesting. So maybe just in this world somewhere there is naturally occurring red-veined marble.
It might be, and then I don't think marble is this way, but you can also make stone from. You can actually make stone out of quicklime and mud. And it'll harden into a really strong form of stone. But I don't think that's marble. I think marble is naturally occurring. Anyway, but yeah, no, it sounds fucking cool. There might actually be red veined marble in the real world. I'm not a marble expert, but I want some. Marble's really expensive.
You do like marble racing, which I think is very different too.
I do like marble racing. I should get some red veined marble and then roll my marbles on it. No.
Or make a marble out of red veined marble.
Oh shit! So excited. That would be a heavy fucking marble. Just made out of stone? That would be cheating. It would win everything.
It'd be very aerodynamic.
Yeah. They're like, how does your marble win every time? Oh, it's just lucky.
Every time it crashes, the other one breaks.
Yeah, it has destroyed every marble it's ever gone up against.
That would cause controversy in the Grand Prix.
For sure. People would accuse it of dosing.
There's already enough
Anyway.
controversy with all the crashes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what you see.
Cool.
What do you guys do?
Enters the room, tapping the floor with his lance.
Cool.
There isn't a door. Ragni will also enter, revealing to us all that there isn't a door in here. Which is interesting. So this might be where they found that priest ghost thing. Because the kobolds didn't mention anything about getting past here. Right, well, either way.
The tapping of the stone doesn't do anything.
Excellent. I and Kristen will approach the marble statue to examine it further.
When you do so,
okay,
the mouth of the statue opens.
Oh no.
And begins to utter something.
Okay, it's not breathing on me, that's good.
It says, "We come at night without being fetched. We disappear by day without being stolen. What are we?"
I say instinctively, stars?
Stars?
Yeah.
You see a door on the western wall open. Ooh. You got that? Man, that was quick.
I
just knew it.
Yeah, I was thinking, because when the first thing with night was like, oh, well, something in the sky. I thought like moon initially, and then it was like multiple, so I was like...
It was good. That was good. Solid.
I'm usually pretty bad at these, so...
That's the quickest result ever. Yeah, no, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. It wasn't too complicated, but I expected it to at least take a couple minutes of you like thinking about the answer.
Yeah, the fetched and stolen thing is a nice like.
So impressive. Okay.
Think,
yeah. Man, didn't make you think shit. No. Anyway.
I see the. Yeah, I see the.
Or did it? Was that like what gave you the answer?
No, it was the opposite. Like I saw those and I saw them as like kind of red herrings, like overcomplications. So I was like, I'll move past them.
Gotcha.
But I thought Star Wars
nice,
might have been too easy, but I'm glad it was right. All right. Yeah. So is it a door or like a passageway? Or like what's this? Because I can see already.
It looks like it was a secret door that goes. It moves in slightly and then it swings open.
In that case, no need for Ragni. Red Alt will start, although Ragni does need to be the torchbearer, so Ragni will stand behind him.
Kristen also has a torch, unless you change that.
No, she does, although she doesn't seem to be counted as having a torch.
No? Oh, let me check.
Or maybe it's just about the vision. Maybe she does. It's a bit strange. It's fine. Let's not fuck with things. They work. So...
It's too late, I'm fucking...
Okay. Things that I can see in character, or, sorry, in the Roll20, that you can let me know whether or not I see in fiction, are these little alcoves with what seems to be statues in them. This what appears to me to be a pit with spikes, and then this little, I'm going to call it a tomb, but maybe it's a table on at the very far edge here. I can see these in the Roll20. Whether or not I can see these in the fiction, obviously, I don't know.
You see all and know all.
Amazing.
But yeah, you can see those in the Roll20, and they do appear to be the things that you identified them as. I'll read to you in more detail, but you're pretty spot on. Okay. Dust cloaks the contents of this 20-foot wide hall. 6 alcoves line the walls, 3 to the north and 3 to the south. Each alcove, except the southwest one, holds a humanoid figure carved of red-veined white marble. The figures resemble tall elves in plate armor. A stone archway at the west end of the hall opens into a wide room from which greenish light glows. A dark pit is situated before the archway.
Okay. First,
there may or may not be spikes in that dark pit.
Before I go any further, actually, Tarius is still by the statue. Does the statue seem to be like attached to the ground, or is it resting on the ground? The dragon statue from the previous room.
Oh, that's a good question.
Because it's a bitchin' statue.
It is a bitchin' statue. You think you could pick it up? It's obviously made out of solid marble, so it is very heavy. But it's not like glued to the floor.
Okay.
In any way.
Cool. Do I think hempen rope on a pulley system would be strong enough to pull this up of it, like the cliffside?
Yeah, I mean, pulley systems would definitely help. It would help if you had like a block and tackle, which is actually an item in 5e.
Okay. Do you know the price off the top of your head? If I went back to town, just out of curiosity.
I can look it up, but it's not too expensive.
Cool.
I definitely don't have it off the top of my head.
Don't worry, we can look it up when it comes to it. But it can be moved, and between the 5 of us, we could lift and pull it out of here. Maybe not up the.
I think so. Yeah.
Here. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Right. In that case, first things first. Me, Alessandro, and Kristen at the doorway. Ragni's gonna walk into the room there with good old Renault. Rael's gonna tap his lance on the floor and approach the top right statue in the alcove.
Okay. So he messes with that alcove right there.
Well, he's tapping the floor and he's approaching it. He is, if you can't see where he is, he's currently...
No, I can see him actually.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's actually weird. So the things I can't see, it's weird. I don't know what the rules are for this.
It is strange.
I can't see. Actually, I'll just send you a quick picture just so you can have an idea of what's going on. Because it is kind of bizarre.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if I told you this, but I've decided to go in soon to see about my nose because I have seen now one of my polyps in the left nostril, and it is so big that I know for a fact that I need to have someone to look at it because now I'm at the point where I can just go into a doctor and say, "Look at this thing taken out of me." So that's the point.
Wait, you what does it look like? I don't even know what a polyp looks like.
It's like a lump of skin. In my nose, it's just this large, like very white blockage that I can see up there, and I'm like, that's not meant to be.
Ugh.
Yeah.
No, that can't be. That can't be.
Do not Google nasal polyps and look on the images search. I can do it because I have a strong stomach and I've seen them in person, but nobody else should do that. Unless you're weird. No judging.
Unless that's your kink. No kink shaming.
I mean, I have to say, since I've discovered it, I've been envisioning it being taken out of me, and it feels satisfying. I need it to be taken out of me soon.
That's good.
Hopefully. I don't know. I don't have a local GP right now. I'm still registered in another country, so I don't know what that process is going to be like.
Do you just go to can't you just go to a new doctor and make an appointment?
Yeah, but they've got to go and get your old records and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that's their problem.
That is weird.
Yeah, isn't that bizarre? So I almost feel like it's coming from one of the tokens, maybe Ragni or Alessandro. Like their vision is weird to me.
I'll move both. Does anything change when I move Ragni?
Nope. Well, slightly. Yeah.
What about Alessandro? I'm moving now.
Yep.
Both.
Both of them affect the way that weird stuff looks.
So can you see Ragni?
I can see Ragni. Yeah.
Can you still see Ragni?
Now I cannot see Ragni.
Because Alessandro can now see Ragni.
Now the entire room is dark. Okay, now that you moved him back, it's normal. So, wait, this is weird. If I'm getting this correct, the angle at which this shit is weird is at the angle at which both Ragni and Alessandro can see something. If both Alessandro and Ragni can see something, I can't see it. That appears to be the rules of the game. What the fuck? That's so weird. I don't understand that.
I will say this. In my Friday campaign this week, I used dynamic lighting for the first time since they've done all these updates, and I had trouble with it. Now, I could still see everything, but...
What was your trouble?
It looks just weird. It looks very grainy. I couldn't quite figure out how to set up. It's easier, though, because back before this update, in order to set up dark vision, you had to set up light that only they could see, right? But now you can actually set up dark vision and light separately, which is quite nice. But it's still a bit weird to me the way it displays. You can also set the color of it, which is quite interesting. There's a couple of things.
And if I'm right, I believe in the old system, you couldn't do both dark vision and a torch.
Like not on the same person now. You'd have to give them a torch token to hold.
Yeah. which is a little clunky.
Which is clunky, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the system seems to work. The main thing that I like more about this system is that it is less laggy. Every time I had used the previous system on a big map, it lagged pretty bad, like it chugged. And this system doesn't do that at all. So I like that aspect of it, but I'm getting some weird fucking results. I think they need to patch some more stuff. Clearly, I think it's still in development. I think it is. I think they've advertised that it's like still they're trying to.
I will say, I wish instead of doing... I know this affects more games than just 5e, but I'm still annoyed that they went through and they made a whole new dynamic lighting system, and there are still 2 core 5th edition documents that aren't on Roll20 yet, and I'm still... the more the days go by where they haven't put them on, the more annoyed I get that they're not on there. The DMG and Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, or the 2 in specific, that I use them all the time, and I need them on.
What's in Sword Coast?
There's some subclasses that I meh, but there's also some reskinned races that are almost none of them are unique in terms of mechanics, but they're all useful for the Sword Coast area. So for the 2 examples are with dwarves, they reskin hill dwarves into gold dwarves, and they reskin mountain dwarves into shield dwarves. And shield dwarves are a really important part of the lore of that area. And then for elves, they reskin something into... They reskin high elves into sun elves and moon elves that are really important for the lore.
Oh yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah.
Are you becoming a Forgotten Realms scholar?
Kind of. I mean, I've read a lot of the books now. I guess
that's cool. I think that's really cool because every time I've ever played in the Forgotten Realms, the person who has DM'd it has not known anything about it, and so I do think it's cool if the DM actually knows about the setting, because then they can. I don't know.
There's some like really legendary figures that you can reference.
Put in more details, make it feel more rich and engaging and immersive. It's things that you are not front and center. Obviously, the plot does not require you to know those things, but it's stuff that it will make the world more engaging and enriching if you can manage to put them in. So I think it's cool that you've read books and stuff.
And also, to be clear as well, it's more the Sword Coast or the North, because the Forgotten Realms is actually huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
And the material that's actually out on most of it is really sparse. It's like there's one corner of the world that they care about. And then so basically, European history in a nutshell. It's like, welcome to the history department. We have 7,500 books on European history, and we've got a dustbin over there for the other ones. It's kind of just like that, because there's that one colonized region that they care about at the moment, which is Chult. It's like it's all Sword Coast, and then there's Chult. It's the one foreign place they care about.
That's the place we sent our people to, so we're interested in it. They have gold and ivory.
They do. It's true. It's good.
Would you like to look at this terrible map in which we... Okay, yeah, so... that is funny, yeah. I kind of understand why they do that, because...
Yeah, I do too.
Forgotten Realms is so if anything, it's probably an issue of... I'm not sure if it even is an issue, because, I mean, there is a positive side to that, and that is that it allows DMs to... If they want to play in a world if they want to play in a part of the world that is more richly developed, then they can do that. And then if they want to paint in their own canvas, they can go to some far-off realm that there's been nothing written about, and I think that's kind of interesting.
And I also like the aspect of it too, that like most of this continent is quite civilized. So it's the idea is it would be kind of boring to play D&D there. Like obviously not for us because we play a different kind of style, but the idea is that this is where the wilderness is. These are where the monsters still are. This is where the adventures, or the ruins, and the lost kingdoms.
The Sword Coast is where it's not civilized?
Yeah, it's called the Savage Frontier.
That's interesting. I always imagined it was kind of well developed. I guess I just was...
There's like 3 cities down the coast. That's about it.
There's a bunch of little towns on the map that I have. But...
Yeah, there are towns like dotted around, and there's a lot more that won't be marked on the map, of course. But
okay, so basically other parts of the world are much more... Is what you're saying?
Yeah,
much
the
more...
roads are like patrolled. There aren't like monsters around every corner. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yes, he is approaching the statue.
Okay, so he puts. What does he do with the statue?
So if he gets to the statue, like within 2 feet of it, without anything happening, he will poke it with his lance. This camera's focused.
Yeah, nothing happens.
What camera do you have? Because my camera has been bothering me with this focus thing lately. Have you got an expensive camera, or is it just...
What do we need? What about camera?
What do you have? What camera do you have?
I need to look up its number, but it's a Logitech. I think it's like a Logitech C something, C90, C something. It's 1080p. I don't know how I would show you it, but
wait, does it say HD? Wait, does it say HD 1080p on it?
No, I just know that I picked out one that was HD. It actually physically, it also says HD 1080p.
Oh,
it says Carl Zeiss Tessor.
I think we have very similar webcams then. I just need to figure out how the focus works on mine.
I just realized I had my face right fucking up in that webcam.
Yeah.
I was totally unaware of how that the webcam was still on. Like I wasn't.
That's a very boomer of you. Oh yeah. So wait, I poked the statue.
Okay, boomer. Okay,
boomer. I poked the statue. Ragni pokes not Ragni. Sir Ranald pokes the statue. He said nothing happens.
Yeah, nothing seems to happen. He flakes a little bit of dust off of it, but nothing.
He pokes the next one.
Okay.
Nothing happens. He's still poking the floor on his way.
Yep, nothing happens.
All right, he goes and pokes all 4 statues that are remaining. And
he pokes them all.
Yeah.
Just sticks them all.
Yeah. Jump, 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 jump. Movement, jumping. Long jump. Long jump.
When he pokes this one,
Yes.
I would like him to make a perception check.
Okay. Should we just use his passive perception?
If you'd like to.
Yeah, I feel like he didn't actively necessarily look for anything. It'd be 13.
Well, I assumed the act of poking was involving him like looking for things that were happening, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Or was he just poking blindly?
He's poking to see if anything happens. He's not necessarily like observing.
He's not actually looking for anything that's changing other than anything that's obvious. Okay.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, we can just use his passive. So you said it's 13?
13. I will go back to reading the jumping rules.
He finds something.
Ooh.
He can see that there appears to be a medallion around the neck of this statue. It's not a real medallion, but it's a medallion made out of stone. That is not... It's like a part of the statue, but it's not on any of the other statues.
He will search the alcove.
Okay. What does he look... Oh, you're just like kind of looking for anything else? Any other details?
Yeah, well, he's like seeing if there's anything in there. You know, like just anything else in the alcove except for the statue. He'd like look behind the statue, paw around, maybe for a button, or
this time have him make an investigation check.
Yeah. 18.
Nice. So he looks everywhere. He starts touching things, squeezing things, pushing things, and eventually he just pushes on the medallion.
Ooh.
And it goes slightly into the statue. And once this happens, you just all hear a loud and the statue begins to move into the floor. And as it does, the wall behind the statue itself also moves into the floor, revealing a new chamber.
Ooh. I say, good job, Renault. That was some good investigation there.
Grazie. That's it, he's not Italian.
No. Ooh, don't move it too far. What is that? Oh, yeah, I'll ask you at the end. I have a question to ask you, but I'm going to ask you at the end of the session.
Oh, what's it about?
A game that came out
Is it
this
a
week that I'm curious if you're playing.
CK3?
Yeah. All right. Well, I asked.
No.
There you go.
Okay, you can ask me later. So the door opens, and you see the following: dust coats the contents of this tiny chamber, obscuring runes inscribed on the southern wall. And I believe that I mean, what do you? Actually, what do you guys do?
Okay. So for now, we're gonna leave that be.
Okay.
So, unless you're it's gonna rule otherwise. I think for jumping, if I get a 10 feet run up, you can jump your strength score horizontally. Correct?
I believe that that's correct.
Okay.
What is your strength score, good sir?
I think mine's 10, but other people have better. But I think even with my 10, I think I can clear this, right? It's 8 feet wide. Yeah, or 10 feet wide, I guess.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's essentially because the it's essentially 10 feet wide. Yeah, but you can jump it.
Okay, I won't start.
Well, actually, shit. I guess it is only 8 feet wide. That's kind of weird. Oh, I see why.
Or something like.
I see why, because the wall is part of the square.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
But yeah. Anyway, I mean, yeah, we're gonna start with Ragni, who's got more strength than me. Are you gonna impose any penalty for heavy armor, or is he okay to jump as well? Oh, I saw something. He's gonna
That's a good question. What did you see?
I see a token.
Oh, shush. You see nothing.
I see nothing.
I think you can still jump with armor. Yeah, okay. I'll let him.
All right, so Ragni will jump, and we'll all be waiting on the other side here. I guess 10 feet because we want the run up.
Okay. Yeah. When Ragni jumps, he sees the following: violet marble tiles cover the floor and walls. Man, these guys really spent a lot of time at their local renovation store. You know, they went to they picked out the finest. Though all are cracked and broken, revealing rough-hewn stone beneath. Sconces are attached to the walls at each corner. One holds a torch that burns with greenish fire. A marble sarcophagus, easily 9 feet long, lies in the room's center. The coffin is carved with dragon imagery, and the head of the sarcophagus resembles a dragon's head. Rusting iron clasps firmly lock down the lid.
Okay. Ragni will move on slightly, allowing Redmoore to jump over.
Okay.
We're all good.
And as soon as you walk in here,
Ralton or Ragni?
We'll say it happened when Ralton got in. A little closet jumps out of the corner that you could see the entire time. And we're gonna have people roll initiative.
Okay. I don't know what a closet is.
You need not know.
Would you want to describe what it looks like for me? Or
it looks kind of like a little hairy Batman, like half bat, half humanoid.
Okay, I thought you meant like a little hairy superhero Batman.
It looks like Bruce Wayne.
Oh, good, yeah. Gobolines, Dern, Hobos, Grendel, Gobolines Comenes.
I love my weird, like, Latin English bastardization. Oh, God. Let's see. Who got 23? I'm interested. Oh, Serenal? Nice.
Yeah.
Looks like it was Serenal.
It was. Tarius, Wow, that was really bad. He has the best initiative, and he got. Oof. That's why. Also, I remembered the other day what feat I was gonna get at level 4 if it wasn't sharpshooter. Remember how I went for an ASI because I couldn't remember? It was alert. I should have grabbed alert ready for the assassinate, dip. But we're ages away, and I can get alert at level 9, I guess.
Yeah.
One day, if I survive to level 9.
Who are you assassinating? Oh, the assassin, as in the class.
Yes.
Okay. Never mind. I thought you were either going to assassinate someone or preparing to be assassinated. And I was like, well,
I think
I should get a lift.
What I'm going to end up doing to my family could technically be considered assassination, but Tarius isn't, going to look at it that way.
Are you going to kill them? Are you going to kill them secretly?
Them a choice. It'll be secretly to everybody except them, but they'll know.
I'm not sure if that is assassination then.
No, I don't think especially since it's going to be very formal. Like Tarius will give them one of his swords and say you can either leave and renounce your claims, or we can fight to the death. It's not assassination at all, is it?
We're gonna fucking your sister won't have fighting skill, but she will have more HP than you.
No, I'll have the amulet of health by then. I'll be a real boy.
Oh,
yeah.
Just she keeps rolling crit 20s. You're like, fuck.
Hey, if she kills me, she kills me. Fuck it. Yeah.
That would be a badass way to go. Well, actually, it'd be a sad way to go.
And then I can play as my sister.
Trying to switch to your sister's perspective.
I assume I don't know what we'd do if Tarius dies. Whether we make a new character that was the lieutenant, or whether we play someone else from Tarius's family who becomes the lieutenant. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it's something to discuss. I mean, I guess it depends on how you. We'll have a discussion about how you feel about the campaign at that point.
That's
like, if you feel satisfied, if you felt satisfied with the story, we don't necessarily need to even continue.
Yeah, indeed.
But if you feel like there's you want to play in the world more, then yeah, we can figure out a different character, a different perspective. We could even have you play someone radically different, but in the same world, right? We could discuss it when we come to it, if we come to it, which we probably will at some point.
And even if we swap over to my stuff after Tarius dies, then maybe I'd want to play Tara's Fist again when your character dies. So there's always
my character will never die.
My world's pretty harsh, dude. I don't know. You're gonna have a tough time.
I'm going Bear Totem Barbarian.
That's pretty good. I haven't killed a Barbarian yet.
I think a Bear Totem Barbarian is the tankiest class you can make.
I'm playing a Bear Totem Barbarian in Charles's game right now.
Are you extremely tanky?
Yeah, very much so.
Because I think they can become resistant to
psychic.
all damage.
Everything except psychic.
Yeah, and psychic is fairly rare. So,
although I will say, I play with gritty realism, so you can only rage 3 times per long rest, and the long rest is a week. So you might, the tankiness is.
I'll be sleeping a lot.
Yeah.
I just feel like, guys, it's time for another nap. No, I'm just kidding. I actually really like the gritty realism. I think it. I have always had the problem where I feel like players level up too quickly as compared to the amount of real time that's passing.
I agree.
Right? Because in our out of game time, it doesn't feel too fast from that perspective, right? Because weeks are passing, right? You might take 4 or 5 weeks for a level up. I think that's perfectly fine. I don't think that anything feels weird about that. And if it did feel weird, I could just change the flow of XP. The problem is players will sometimes just go from one thing to the next in character in really quick succession, and it's difficult to slow them down. And so it kind of feels weird when they've gotten 10 levels in the span of a month or 2 months, because you're like, shouldn't this have taken years?
Yeah,
shouldn't this have taken like
just the
5 years?
It's like the scale of the campaigns as well, right? Is you've had this grand adventure that you're like, wait, when you really think about it, that took us 2.5 weeks. Yeah. And also forcing the players to slow down a bit means that you can have these changes happen in the world as well. And you can be like, oh, this has been 2 years. You are now a really important person. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
And not with all things, but with a lot of abilities that some people get from level ups. You wonder how the fuck this just happened in one night. Like someone sleeps, wakes up, and they're like, I know a new language. And you're like, how do you know a new language? You haven't practiced it once. and to some extent that might be the like. I think to some extent players should try to role play their own development, but it's difficult for them to do that when they're leveling up that quickly. So it's kind of like I like the week rest for that reason, because it forces them to slow down. Although every player I've ever proposed it to didn't like it, didn't like the idea of it, and I had never used it. But I think maybe some players might like it if they actually try it. I mean, have your players liked it?
Yeah, generally. But I had newer players, yeah, to some extent, and you know, it was an early thing, and I had more experienced players come into the campaign afterwards, but luckily we were a few sessions deep, and it was like embedded, so it's hard to like challenge that, if you know what I mean. So eventually they do like it, but there are other parts of the way I run my campaigns that kind of make it work better too, because I have less classes, so you know the class balance gets a bit fucky with it, but that's not a big deal, and most of those classes are banned anyway. So it's you know.
What, you mean the short rest? The classes like Warlock, they get their powers back in a short rest.
Yeah, but yeah, Warlock is a good, like the only like offensive spellcaster basically is Wizard now, so it's a little bit less like fucky, because it's like, okay, you have your Arcane Recovery, which is really good, and then otherwise you can only really Nova every so often. And then,
so like you just mean that like a Druid, for example, just can't cast as many spells. Is that how you mean that they're not like an offensive?
Yeah, Druid's like, although a land Druid does also get some short rest spell recovery. But yeah, that's a good. Warlock is a good example, but balance wasn't the reason why I stopped allowing those. I just don't like Warlocks.
Here's playing Druid, right?
The Druid's okay, yeah. Druid's fine. Wait, I didn't hear you. You glitched out. What did you ask?
Okay. I asked the Druid question. I was just saying that I asked if Druid was okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, I haven't chosen Barbarian, although I have considered. The other day I thought a little bit of like, oh, if I, you know, for Putty's game, what do I play? And I considered the idea of a Barbarian just because I feel like a Barbarian in a solo campaign would be a lot of fun, because they could just kind of like wade through the blood, you know, just like I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, I think it would be fun. But I haven't settled on anything.
Yeah,
I'll wait until I learn.
Yeah.
And I didn't even form an idea for the character. It was literally just Barbarian's kind of fun. But
sounds fun. Yeah.
Okay, so you everyone's rolled in. Let me roll the Quasit. Quasit.
I've never actually seen this enemy. Is this? I won't ask. But yeah.
What?
I was gonna ask if it was in the monster manual, but I don't really want to know, so don't answer me.
Do you want me to answer you after you fight it?
Sure, yeah, I'm curious, because I do often, I'll do these things where I'll be like, oh, I want something for a specific encounter, and I'll end up looking through a lot of shit. So I end up seeing a lot of the books, so I'm surprised I've never seen this before.
I won't say whether it's in the monster manual. What I will tell you though is it's a monster that's been in the RPG world for a while, like in D&D. But I actually, yeah. Anyway, but I'll tell you at the end if it's in the monster manual.
Sure.
You know, if you're lucky. If I feel like it.
Okay. Zero initiative. Perfect.
Okay, so Renault goes first. Actually, Renault and Ragni rolling first works out pretty well.
It does actually. Is it actually embedded in the wall, or is it popped out slightly to the square?
Okay. It pops out now.
Does it look hostile?
It was just kind of hiding. What'd you say?
Does it look hostile, I guess, to Ragni and Renault?
It looks extremely hostile.
Extremely hostile? Okay.
It's like spitting and hissing and running towards them with its claws.
Well, it seems like an unholy abomination to Sir Renault. Oh, it actually did roll a 7. That's useful. What's its... Well, I assume its dex is lower than 20, right?
Its dex is lower than 20.
Cool. Renault will charge up to here. His lance will begin to glow, and he will prepare an action to Radiant Lance this thing after Tarius' turn is finished.
I like it. Okay.
Ragni will prepare an action to attack it normally after Tarius' turn is finished. I'm going to check to see if Kristen has strength. Yeah, she has 16 strength. Jesus Christ, Kristen! I know you're a follower, but still. Kristen will leap over this thing, move to here, and prepare an action to Ray of Frost it when Tarius' turn finishes. Alessandro will jump over the pit, move 5 more feet, and prepare an action to shoot his bow at it when Tarius' turn is finished. Tarius will jump over the pit, move to here. Oh, actually, I can't even hit it without using my bow. I can use my bow though. But
everyone's ganging up around it. They're like, hit it, so hit it.
Do I want to use action search here? I mean, how much further do we go? Fuck it. You know, I'm gonna use the bow. Fuck it. Tarius wouldn't use the bow, but I'm gonna use the bow. So let's shoot an arrow at it. 24. I assume a 24 will hit. Yep.
It does.
Okay. I'm going to reroll because it would take the... Okay, I'm going to roll again. Okay, I'm going to roll until I don't get a crit. And then I will hit it with 8 piercing damage.
Look at those beautiful crits.
Look at those beautiful crits. I'm going to end my turn, triggering everything. So, let's start with Redalt.
The arrow, by the way, hits it and appears to you can see it like it strikes true, and you can see the beast reacts violently, and he sees the arrow has hit him. He almost looks surprised.
Okay. This will be 22 damage from Redalt, 9 of which is radiant.
Renault pierces, and you see as the demon begins to burn.
It's a demon, you say?
Perhaps.
Perhaps. Ragni deals 15 piercing to it.
Okay.
Kristen deals +1. Oh, because she crit. So just 5. 5 cold damage to it. And Alice...
Wouldn't it be 6?
No, because she didn't actually crit, because these are all the auto hits from the...
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah.
And then finally 9 piercing from Alessandro. That's a lot of damage. Is this thing alive?
Alessandro kills it.
Okay.
Yeah, the arrow hits it in the skull, and it falls down dead. It then its body burns up and disappears.
Ooh, very interesting. I ask Kristen immediately, "What's that all about?"
Kristen says, "Well, if I were to guess, it might be a demon or a devil. I've heard that when they're destroyed here on the material plane, their souls transfer back to their home abyss or hell."
Well, I guess it is a good thing that we banished it from this place. I'm gonna grab my torch. I'm gonna try and
a closet, by the way, is in the monster manual. It's a classic D&D demon. I'm surprised you've ever heard of it.
Yeah, no, and I've been doing it. Well, to be fair, I've actually been doing more with devils lately than demons, but I've still been having a look at them. What's the CR?
It says age 63, and the CR is 1.
1 CR demon. I guess I don't really deal with 1 CR demons that much at the moment. Yeah, fair enough. Cool. Interesting.
It's a nice minion demon to if you have like a CR 3, 4, or 5 demon boss that you, or even it was like a demi boss, you could have a bunch of quasits back them up. It's kind of fun.
Like the demon version of the imp for the devils, I guess.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a torch. I'm gonna try to light it on this strange green flame.
You're trying to light the torch with the like you're trying to spread the green flame onto your torch. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. And also, were there torches in all four corners of this room, but they're not lit? Right? Or am I wrong?
I believe. Yes, the other ones, there are sconces all over the place, but the only one of the torches is lit.
Cool.
When you hold your torch up to it, nothing seems to occur.
Oh, can I take it out of the sconce?
Yeah.
I could take it over to one of the unlit torches and try and light it?
Yeah, when you do, nothing happens.
Oh.
Something also feels strange. The flame doesn't feel warm.
Okay, I'll put my finger into it.
Nothing. It doesn't burn. When Kristen sees you put your finger into it, she says, "Well, I don't think it's obviously magical if it can't burn you. Perhaps that's why it's not lighting the other torches."
I'm going to put it back, and I'm going to take my tinderbox and I'm going to light the other 3 torches, if I can.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, if you spend like a minute or two, sure. Yeah, you can light your torches.
Anything happen?
Your entire skull lights on.
Can I retrieve the arrow I fired? Do you want to be able to roll for that, or is it just fucked?
Oh, the arrow you fired. Yeah, why don't you roll a D2?
Is it on a 2 that I get it back?
Yes.
Okay, it's gone.
You do not.
Nope.
Have you seen an actual D2 in person, by the way?
No. Well, yeah, it's a coin.
It is basically like a.
Oh, is it a coin?
It's like a coin.
Cool.
I can show you at the end of the session, but
sure.
They're kind of cool. They're kind of fun. It's like a plastic coin that is fun to flip.
Coins on their own are fun to flip.
Yeah, it's even more fun.
Ooh.
Ooh. That got weird.
How dare you? I need to get more of this ibuprofen. Those are my last 2 tablets. But it is good.
Oh, what'd you say?
I need to get more of this ibuprofen because those are my last 2 tablets of it, and it is good stuff.
Is that how British people pronounce it?
Yes.
Yeah. Ibuprofen?
Ibuprofen, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Or at least
Instead
it's how
ibuprofen.
My town in Wales pronounce it, I guess.
Yeah. We've never had need of it before.
I have heard, of course, from Americans a lot the ibuprofen, yeah. But,
ibuprofen, yeah.
Yeah.
Tylenol, ibuprofen. Acetaminophen is a big painkiller. I think that's in Tylenol. I think acetaminophen and then Advil. Ibuprofen's my favorite, personally, because it doesn't kill my liver.
Ibuprofen's really good because it's like a nerve blocker or something. It's really fast, effective. Yeah.
Well, and also I found out that acetaminophen, the active ingredient in Tylenol, is terrible for your liver health. People have overdosed on it and died. And it is an over-the-counter non-prescription painkiller, so it's crazy that you can overdose on it. I mean, I guess you can overdose on anything, but like the person who overdosed on it didn't take 1,000 of them. I think they took just like a few too many. Anyway, so when you light the other torches, nothing seems to occur. The room is incredibly well lit, though.
Nice. I'm gonna have Ragni take his battle axe to one of these rusted hinges.
Oh, the locks on the sarcophagus?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, why don't you have him roll roll an who's doing this? Who are you having doing this?
It's
Ragni?
Yeah.
Why don't you have Ragni roll an attack?
Yeah, I tell you what though, I'm gonna show him where to aim with a shot of my bow first.
What?
25 from me.
Okay.
Alright. And then so I do 10 piercing to the rusted hinge. And
okay.
Then
I'll say you shoot. Your arrow shoots the hinge off.
Oh, nice. Can he attack another hinge?
Yeah.
7?
He's like, oh, that's the technique. I see. He attacks another hinge and it breaks off.
Nice. How many are there?
There's 6.
6. Alright, let's have Kristen try and freeze one off. 1 cold damage, is that enough?
Does that enough?
Alright, Alessandro tries to make her feel better by dealing 11 piercing to it.
He shoots it, it smashes off, and he said, I don't think it would have worked if you hadn't weakened it first.
Oh,
to Kristen.
So kind. And then Renault will lance for a 7 piercing on another one.
That actually misses. Renault charges up, and he's like,
I thought they all auto hit. 7 piercing, not 7 hit.
Oh, auto hits.
Yeah, because I've been showing them what they're inspired by my success.
Oh, I see what this was.
Yeah.
I was wondering what the fuck you were doing.
It's because I have a +10 to hit, which is significantly better than what they have. All
right, he hits.
All right, 7 piercing.
He doesn't break it.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, he does.
Okay.
What am I talking about?
2 left. Yes, so I leave them to their devices for the rest of the cutting. So,
okay, all of them just begin to violently cut at them.
Do you want me to keep rolling attacks, or can we just eventually get these last 2 off?
Yeah, you can get them off. Yeah.
Okay. The disappointment in your voice when you realize what I was doing. I see what this was.
Either way, are you still using that green torch, or did you put it back, or?
That's a good question. I suppose after I would, it'd be back in its original place.
Okay, cool. So what do you do?
I have Ragni.
Yeah. The latches have been removed.
Yeah, I have Ragni try to open it.
Okay.
I guess I should place my party in the appropriate places around the coffin. So something like this. We're not really being too cautious.
Have Ragni make a strength check. Just straight strength, no skill.
19.
He is able to haul the top of it off. You just... And he throws it off. It's funny. There's 2 ways you can remove this. You can do it with a successful DC 15 strength check. Or, if you have multiple characters help, if all of their strength combines to 30, they can do it automatically. Which I think makes Ragni's lift here even more impressive. Because this would normally, for it to be easy, it would take 3 regular men. And Ragni just and throws it to the side. When he does so, Tarius and the rest of you see the following.
I'm actually scared to change the music. I hope it's not boss music you're changing to. Terror? Oh no, ominous. Okay.
You see the following. In the coffin is a troll. It's dressed in rotted finery, but its jewelry and rings adorned with tiny silver dragons still sparkle. The creature's body is shrunken and elongated, and its flesh is a rubbery, putrid green. Its black hair is long, thick, and ropey. Its beady black eyes flash open, and it snarls.
Hey, a few sessions ago, you said I couldn't tell what I wouldn't know what a troll looks like. So I don't know this is a troll.
Since then, Ragni explained to you in detail what they look like.
Oh, I see. Ragni didn't know what a troll looked like either. No, I think Ragni did.
I think we're going to end today's session on that clip.
That's crazy. I'm going to die.
That's where we're going to end it there.
Okay.
We don't want you to die just yet. Wouldn't it be awkward if you died 15 minutes into the session and we're just like...
We'd spend the rest of the session creating your new character?
Yeah, we could do that on screen. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be totally up for doing that on screen if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Because we didn't... I don't think we made Tarius on screen, did we? No, I don't think we did.
I don't think we did either, actually.
But I think it's a perfectly reasonable idea. Yeah, I think people probably like watching characters get created. I don't actually know though. I don't.
It's also the good stuff of a session 0 to let people know, like let players know what they're in for, is also useful for viewers. I think. It's just what the campaign's going to be and stuff like that. Expectations.
Yeah. I think my favorite part of this as a stream service is the information at the top.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like I think that that's. I like having it's funny because you're one character, so you can put way more focus and detail than you would normally be able to in a stream on information about that character. Because usually it's like we see like their name, maybe their HP and AC, maybe their class, but not everything, not all of those things. Yeah. And in this, we have all their stats. We have you might see their stats too. But we have all their stats, their HP, their AC, their level, their class.
Every feature as well, I think, is probably the big thing we can fit in.
Eventually you're gonna have trouble with that. I feel like you're gonna. How are you gonna start packing them on once you start getting more?
I don't know. Extra attacks is fine, easy. We don't even need to put it on really. But then when I multi-class rogue, that's gonna be something because I'm gonna get more skill proficiencies and expertise and and you're
gonna have to say 4th level fighter or are you going
5th level fighter?
5th level. Okay, so you're gonna go 5th level fighter, and then you're gonna have to write rogue. 1st level fighter, 1st level rogue.
Yeah. I'll have to complete
6th level. You know what you could also do? I would totally let you do this for the purpose of the stream. You could come up with a name of this like hybrid class and say you're 6th level.
That's cool.
Slayer or 6th level.
It's very. It's very Borderlands. I like that.
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
I would say it wouldn't change any mechanics, but it would be cool for the stream because people would be like, "What the fuck's a?"
That is actually really cool. Yeah, if you. I kind of want to steal that for like anytime anybody's multi-classes, you got to come up with a name for your multi-class. That's cool. I like that.
Well, another fun thing. This is way more in depth, but another fun thing that they used to do in the old D like in first and I think in original and even in first edition that they don't do anymore is every level your class had a name, right? Yeah. Like at 6th level you were a scoundrel, and at 7th level you were a cutthroat or whatever. You would get a different title depending on your level. And I kind of think, well, that's a lot of work. It would be kind of fun to like assign your players titles as they go through levels.
There's so for 5th edition in the Sword Coast, obviously you have these factions, and they have these like 6 levels of titles for those factions, which is interesting. It's obviously not attached to class, but it's some of them are very class themed though, because the Order of the Gauntlet is very priestly, so they are very like paladin titles, like righteous hand and vindicator and stuff like that. So
you brought up the dwarvish shield sub race. Is that like, did they actually get something with a shield?
No, I don't. I think the shield dwarf thing is just from their like history. They don't actually have any like shield proficient.
That's too bad.
Like that.
It'd be cool if they had a shield. They just get a free shield.
Just get a free shield. I mean, if you play fighter, you can have a free shield.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think probably lots of classes give you a free shield. I think even Druid does.
Yeah, it's a wooden.
I might be wrong.
It's a wooden one,
yeah.
though. Gosh.
It has the same stat. Doesn't matter. I guess it might matter if, like, if someone throws lava at your shield or something. But
true. Although most things that set things on fire specifically say they can't set stuff on fire if they're being held or carried, except for heat metal. But that doesn't affect the wooden shield.
Yeah. I also have run into this multiple times. So some plants are weak to fire, yes, and you would expect them to be. But then some plants are not. And there's a couple plants that are fucking resistant to it. And so I once had one of those plants that was resistant to fire, and I had a sorcerer in the party who was like a total firebug. And when he got in there, he was like, "Oh, it's finally my time. It's my fucking time." And he immediately like casts fireball at his highest level because he's like, "I'm just gonna obliterate this fucking thing." And I describe as like, well, it seems like the fire actually like doesn't do much. And he's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Have you run into that situation? I think there's lots of. That's one of the biggest problems.
I think historically, like, I think the shambling mound is resistant to fire.
Yeah.
And it's this big, yeah. And I think the idea is supposed to be like.
Lots of dirt.
Yeah, and it comes out of the swamp, right? So it's covered in water a lot of the time, so that's why, yeah. But
and I've always said this, like, we think of trees as being super easy to burn, and they are in one sense. They're good fuel, but like, if you shot a flamethrower against a tree and a flamethrower against a person, the tree would hold up better, right? So, like, we think of trees as being really weak to fire, but no, actually, humans' flesh is weaker to fire than like trees are, for example. So it depends, I guess, on the plant. You know, it depends on your perspective.
I will say, but to a lesser extent, this happens with undead too, because I don't think there's any undead that are resistant to radiant damage. But there are a lot of them that are vulnerable, and then there are some that are just not vulnerable, and then there are some that are resistant to everything except for radiant, and then yeah.
And I think incorporeal undead, that's a big deal. I think the idea with the way they designed incorporeal undead in 5e was to say, okay, they're going to have less HP than a corporeal undead of their same level, but they're going to be resistant to almost every type of damage except radiant. So you don't use radiant to do double damage. You just use it to do normal damage.
Which is essentially double damage in that context, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like double damage, but it's So it's I don't exactly know why they decided to do it that way, but I think that's the design philosophy behind Undead in 5e. It's definitely a lot different than like what you would expect, which would be for Radiant to just sear the flesh off of all undead.
So you haven't been playing Crusader Kings 3? Or have
no, I didn't buy it. No.
It's all...
Have you? Why were you interested? Or why were you interested in what I had
That's a good
played?
question. Well, just because I knew you liked Crusader Kings, and I knew it was that.
I do. I love Crusader Kings too. It's one of my favorite games.
Yeah.
I think the reason I didn't buy it is because I have got a lot of things going on right now, and I didn't really feel like getting into a new video game at the moment. I'll definitely pick it up one day. It's in no way like I'm not like boycotting it or anything. It's nothing against the game. I just am in a place right now where I'm like, I don't really feel like I need to invest, several hundred hours over the next few days into this video game. And so I just decided not to buy it. Although Toe was really wanting me to buy it and play it with him because he has he got it. But I've heard it. I mean,
I find it way easier than Crusader Kings 2. I'll say that.
Oh, so you are playing it? You have it?
Playing it, yeah.
I was gonna say you should pick it up because I think it's much more streamlined than CK2. Yeah. I mean, it's essentially I think they made it. It's got a lot of the same features as CK2, but I think they made it way more easy to find what you're looking for when you're trying to do something, and they have like a tooltip system that from what I understand works pretty well. Like you can right click on anything and it'll pop up information.
Once you've changed an option, yeah. It was really annoying at the start because what happens is it has this lock that by default takes about 1.5 seconds to activate. So you hover over something, and if you wait 1.5 seconds, you can go and like look at what's in that toolbox. But otherwise you can't, and so it feels like a bug because sometimes you can go and look and sometimes you can't. But what's happened is you need to like turn down the lock, so as soon as you've hovered over something, you can go and click on other stuff basically. But it is really useful once you've done that.
Yeah, I think that's cool. So what's your what do you think of the game now that because you bounced off CK2 hard? I remember that. But what's your opinion of the game and the play, I'm assuming that it is sufficiently similar enough to CK2 that I'm interested in what you think of it because it'll retroactively let me know if you were able to get into CK2 if you would have liked it. So what is your opinion of the game?
Yeah, I think it's really fun. I think if I was able to get into CK2, I probably would have liked it. Yeah, although to an extent, maybe to an extent as well. I've changed my preferences for certain genres since the last time I played CK2 with your knowledge, because like I like that kind of fantasy a lot more now than I used to. So I guess there's also a difference to what I'm.
I remember when we used to talk about history, you would be like, "I am totally uninterested in medieval history," and I was like, "What are you interested in?" And you're like, "Benjamin Disraeli's administration to the present." I think you literally said that. And I was like. Fair enough.
Yeah, like late 1700s, I think it was, right? That's when, and then,
yeah. And I think that's yeah. And I remember you were like, "That's why I like Victoria,"
True.
but because that's basically what Victoria is. But no, I think CK2, the part of it I like the most, I mean, you could set it in different time periods and I would still love it. The part I like about it the most is like the focus on dynasties, characters, on building a character as opposed to a nation. I think that's really fun.
Yeah.
And then the nation is just kind of, it's there. It happens. You happen to be the king of a nation, but you could be a count or anyone, and it would still just be it would still be interesting. From what I understand, they simplified combat. So a lot of people that like CK2 didn't like that. But actually, combat in CK2 was my least favorite part. So I don't think I'll mind. Because combat in CK2, unlike in EU4, where technology and what space you moved into and what kind of soldiers you have and the composition of your army, right? Every tiny aspect affects your success in a battle. And of course, numbers. Every tiny aspect affects your success in a battle. Whereas in CK2, it's pretty much 95% of the time the army with the bigger force wins. And there's very little in the way of, oh, this army has better technology. Sometimes that matters, but 95% of the time in CK2, it was, I have the bigger army, I win. Which,
CK2,
I guess
think they've made from what I've played, it feels like a middle ground where there's like 5 or 6 things that affect the quality of the troops, but the good thing about CK3 that I like that isn't in EU4 is that all of those things get pooled into one counter that you can see. It gives you a troop quality like thing, which is like these are decent up to super.
So it's much easier to tell how good your army is compared to.
And you can improve that through having more knights or having a better commander or having better technology, different types of men at arms counter other different types of men at arms, different terrain and stuff. But it all ends up just being like quality. So if your quality's higher and your number is higher...
What nation are you playing?
I started with an Irish duke, and now I'm playing a Welsh duke. So easy territories.
Nice. Yeah. Is this what and what time period? Early start?
1066, the late start, I guess.
Oh, 1066. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I think that's like considered the base start.
I I conquered all of Ireland and Wales as the Irish guy, and then my family fell apart, and I lost everything. So now I'm playing
that, by the way, is constant. Like, I once had... So do you know that meme from Simpsons? I can't think of the guy's name. You know the evil old guy in Simpsons?
Mr. Burns.
Yeah. He has so many cancers, from what I understand, that the cancers fight each other and keep him alive. Right? Is that true?
I haven't seen that. That might be from later seasons.
I believe that's true. Like, he would die, but he has so many cancers that they're fighting for supremacy, and he is allowed to live because of the status quo. Okay? That essentially happened to me once in a Scottish playthrough where a new king ascended, and he was a child. Everyone hated him, and I had 4 rebellions break out, and I was like, and I literally had 1 county left, and I was like, well, game's over. But I thought I would play it out, and I ended up actually scraping by because the 4 rebellions were hostile to each other, and they fought each other more than they fought me. And so just through very patient scheming, I was able to take my land back. But like, yeah, crazy stuff like that happens all the time. And I think in some sense it's easier to get land in CK2 or CK3. I'll say CK3. I'm sure it's very similar. In Crusader Kings, I think it's easier to get land than it is in EU4, for example, but it's also easier to lose it, right? Like, something can happen and all of a sudden your entire dynasty is just falling apart, which I think is kind of dramatic. It's fun.
And I will say, you were always right about, like, the stories are very natural and developed, and you will remember them. Like, that end to that Irish campaign was I had this uncle who was threatening to, like, civil war me for, like, 40 years across 3 different emperors. I sent him off to war to try and kill him, and instead he just became this badass general that won me all my wars. And then he comes back and he doesn't civil war me. He dies, and his son, the first thing his son does is like, all right, the civil war is now.
I love it. Like, he's like, you're a pretender.
My father wouldn't say anything, but I'm gonna win the Irish throne for myself. You can fuck off and be the pretender king of Wales if you want.
Well, you can even imagine. He said he was like, my birthright is the king because while you were hiding here, my father took the kingdom for you. You know, like he's like, my father was the king. You just didn't realize it yet. All right. Get him, men. Yeah, no, I think that's really cool. Yeah, you totally remember the stories. Anyway, let me do XP. So, but that's my answer. I'll pick it up eventually.
Sure. And also, I'm sure money is an issue for it at the moment, but it is on the Xbox Game Pass.
Oh shit! Well, now I'm definitely gonna play it. I still have that subscription.
Oh,
so
me too. I was like, I should get that again for this, and I was like, oh, I've owned this since the Outer Worlds came out. I guess I
never actually got rid of it.
No, me neither.
I've just been paying them.
Yeah.
Without knowing. Which is funny because the original reason I did it was like $1 for 3 months, and I'm like, $1? Now I've paid them like $50.
Same.
Anyway, so I basically purchased CK3 through the Xbox store. Anyway, no, well, I didn't know it was on there. Is Paradox owned by Microsoft?
I don't know.
Or did they just make a deal? Hey, I don't know.
So I want to warn you against this. The Xbox Game Pass is really obtuse, the UI and stuff. So don't go trying to access it on the webpage or anything. Go download the Xbox app for Windows.
I have the app.
Yeah. Because otherwise, what I ended up doing, I don't even know how this happened, but I ended up resubscribing even though I'm already subscribed and paying early. I hope it doesn't fuck me or something, but anyway, it's really obtuse.
It's charged twice.
It goes like I go onto the Game Pass website and it's like join now, and then I click log in, and I log in and it's like join now, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm not subscribed then, and I clicked it. So anyway,
that's super fucky.
It is fucky.
So today you got.
Oh no, my calculator is stuck behind our cameras. Oh no. Can you just add my XP to 3,975 and tell me what the result is?
Sure.
Thank you.
Did you say it was 3,975?
Correct. Fun session.
Okay, so this is for the traps you encountered, the Quasit you defeated, as well as sort of fully figuring out the music room and finding 2 secret doors.
That troll is going to be very fucking.
You got 350 XP, which takes you to 4,325.
Awesome.
What about the troll?
It's gonna kill me if I. I think it's just gonna kill me no matter what. But Kristen's gonna be useful. If we can't.
Because of her fire.
Yeah, if we can't kill it in 2 turns, then I think we're fucked. But actually,
what happens after 2 turns?
She runs out of fire.
Then things get bad.
Yeah, things do get bad. Although we do a lot of damage. I imagine we can do something like 110 damage to it, which I think is lower than a troll's usual hit points, or higher than a troll's usual hit points. So, here's hoping.
Unless this is a special troll.
Unless this is a special troll. If it's an undead troll of some sort, that might make it easier. An ogre zombie is weaker than an ogre. I figured that out this week because I was making armies for a Death Knight, and he had an ogre zombie.
Yeah, ogre zombies are cool. Yeah. I like them. But yeah, they basically are even more of a bag of hit points than an ogre is. That's like their main thing. It's just being a bag full of HP. But I think that I'll just say you notice no rotting qualities of this troll, so you don't think he's I mean, obviously vampires don't look like they're rotting, so I mean, who knows? Maybe it's a vampire troll, which I'm sure would be great for you.
Look, all I know is that I've run a lot of trolls lately because my one of the Friday campaign split parties went off to a place called Nesme where there's a lot of trolls, and I know of an existence of a rot troll. So if you had told me the troll was rotting, then I would be even more scared. But anyway, why don't you give the session a name, and I can go watch some chess.
chess.
Yeah, there's a Twitch chess tournament going on right now. The semifinals were today.
What? What's the who's playing in it?
Twitch stream.
People you know, or are you just really into chess?
I'm just enjoying the chess.
I like it. No, that's. I mean, hey, I've literally watched a marble tournament, so I mean, I'm not gonna. If anything, a chess tournament is probably more normal.
When you sent me the videos, I watched a few of them. They were fun.
Yeah, they're pretty fun. They're even more fun to bet on. No, I didn't bet on it. So today's session is called the Wondrous Ball of Music.